are entering E&C's Pod of Awesomeness.
You're chomping your gum, Birdman. That's me, sucking down my goo.
Well, you got the goo already, huh?
I got the enlightenment, and I'm throwing the goo down my gullet. I had to today because I'm really tired.
Yeah, what are you so tired for?
It's leg day, bro. It's leg day. And I know what you're saying. You do legs? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Huh.
Assholes.
What was I going to say? Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not chewing any gum. I spit it out.
Oh.
So. Yeah.
You're not going to big time. Well, just for the hosers, when we first got on, or maybe they're just the marks now. I heard someone say that they just want to be called the marks instead of the hosers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. We kind of committed to this hoser thing. I think that people like it, you know, and people coming up at like appearances and stuff telling me they're hosers and stuff. So I don't know, man. I think it's
when I was at WrestleCon there a week and a half ago, whatever it was, one of our listeners, one of the hosers, John, brought me 3 cans of the goo, and I ingested all 3 of them
there?
during that. I did. I consecutively. That's what I did.
So
thanks, John. Got me through, brother.
There's no limit on how much goo you can take at one time. Apparently,
there probably should be, but not for me. I'll take the goo all day long.
Yeah. Huh.
So, hey, before we get started and before we get completely goofy and all of those things, I just saw today on social media that Bruno Sammartino passed away.
Yeah, I was going to say we should probably talk about that off the hop here because it's obviously pretty huge news. Obviously the biggest star of his era.
It feels like the end. The kind of the end of an era in terms of he's the biggest star of the WWE ever. I mean,
yeah,
you can say Stone Cold and you can say Hogan, but if you're looking at MSG sellouts, if you're looking at, I mean, Bruno, man, was champ, I think a combined in 2 reigns, 11 years.
Yeah,
like 4,000 however many days, like that doesn't happen nowadays, and it just goes to show that it was a different time. But
well, I mean, put that into perspective too. Like these are a time where you know, guys were primarily being paid off the gate, right? So to be able to stay on top in that position wouldn't happen unless you were drawing money, right? So
yeah, and the rest of the locker room is going to be your friend because of that.
Right. So I mean, it shows you the type of star magnitude that he had, especially being able to sell out Madison Square Garden as many times consecutively as he did. Obviously, maybe the first true superstar, maybe that kind of transcended even the sport of wrestling. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you had an entire culture, you know, and especially, you know, to Italians and to immigrants coming over to this country.
Yep.
Here's a guy that came over without
Self-made.
anything and really made himself, you know, and I always thought this was an amazing story. He held the world bench press record in 1959. He did a 565 bench and with no wraps, no nothing. Held it, didn't, you know, bounce it, and I don't know. He's just, and you know, he was. The story was he was always bullied, so he started working out so he wouldn't be bullied anymore. I mean, it's just a classic, everyman underdog story, and but more importantly than whatever the accolades are in wrestling, which are obviously numerous, you know, stack up better than anybody's, to be honest. In meeting Bruno over the years, he was just a thoroughly classy professional. He was just a classy man, and there's no other way to explain it. Now, I got a story I can tell you, which truly just exemplifies this to me. So I'd met Bruno a couple of times, and very nice, very cordial, very polite, very interested and engaged in the conversation. He looked you in the eyes. He's one of those guys, a solid handshake, a pat on the back. But I had had my second neck surgery in 2012 in Pittsburgh by Dr. Joseph Maroon. And I woke up from surgery, and they took me in my room, and I was sitting there, and my voice was still a little hoarse, and I was just still kind of coming to, and my hospital room phone rings, and Beth picks it up, and she goes, "Hello? Yes, hold on." And she goes, "Adam, it's Bruno." And it was Bruno Sammartino, had found out I was in town, was having neck surgery, got the number to my hotel room, and called me post-surgery to make sure I was okay.
Crazy.
And it completely blew my brain. I just thought, we've met, and he made a huge impact on me, obviously, but you just, I don't know, it was just so surreal to be post-surgery and talking to Bruno Sammartino, who was just concerned, Yeah. And I think that to me just really kind of exemplifies what kind of man he was,
Yeah. Yeah. That just goes to show you. I mean, he didn't have to do that, but obviously puts kind of in perspective what type of person he was. And I mean, that's unbelievable too, for kids like us that grew up watching him on TV. And I have memories of seeing him when I was very small, kind of at the tail end of his career. But yeah, obviously, he was and is a legend that will never be forgotten in this business for sure.
Yeah, sad day hearing that. Yeah. But he left a legacy, like I said, not just the wrestling, but the actual person that he was, and that's more important than anything that we do in spandex. So, rest in peace, living legend. It was, he lived a good one though.
Yep.
All right, Bert. Well, what else is new this week? What else you got for me, huh?
Well, we had the. I was thinking about something on my run today. I went for a little run today.
And, you weren't flying?
Well, I was flying at a low altitude. Let's just say that. I was thinking, and I didn't even know if this would be possible, but I thought I'd throw it out there because it'd be interesting conversation anyway. Like we were talking last week about WrestleMania and how it was really long, right?
Yes.
From the start of the kickoff to the finish was what, like 7 hours?
7 hours or something.
Right. And I started thinking to myself, what if, because it's gotten so big, and maybe it would work one year for an experimental thing or something. What if they made it a 2-day event?
See, I knew you were going to do this, and you're taking credit for the people that the day after our pod last week started tweeting us.
No, I'm not. No.
What if it were a 2-day event?
I never saw those. I swear I never saw them.
I saw them. I saw them. We can't piggyback on the hosers' ideas, man.
Well, if somebody sent it, that's a great idea, and great minds obviously think alike. But I did not see that. I was thinking about it today on my run, and I just thought about, like, obviously I don't really fully grasp the business side of it, of how it would be to try to have a building like that for 2 days and 2 events. But if you put on like 2 3.5 hour events or 2 4-hour events, right, with 2 huge main events in each one, and split it up. You could either go to one or go to both or whatever it was. And I don't know. I just thought maybe that would be, but like I said, obviously it was something that would have to be an experimental type thing, like the time they did WrestleMania from the 3 different venues, right?
Yeah.
WrestleMania 2. Anyway, just thought I'd throw it out there for a good
Rosemont
conversation
Verizon,
piece. But,
the LA Forum. But you know what? I know your secrets, man. You tried to do it in the Hall of Fame speech for the Dudleys. This was your way of putting yourself over. Meanwhile, it was the hosers that came at us with the idea. And I think subliminally, you can say you didn't, but it registered in there. It did, found its fabric on your brain, and you went, and then you forgot about it because kids. And I think You're now recalling it on your little run with your little spindly legs moving there. and you got the endorphins and you're all happy and you're like, I got a great idea. Yeah. I think this will be good. And I'll say it on the pod and say it's my idea. That's what I think's happening right now.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm just pretty fucking smart. But like I said, obviously I don't think that would ever happen. Obviously I don't like the business side of it is much different than just saying, hey, this is a great idea, we should do it. But it would be definitely an interesting concept if you, like I said, but you usually have 2 or 3 matches that are of pay-per-view WrestleMania main event quality, right? So put them on 2 different nights and see what happens. But
I mean, the roster is definitely big enough. But then when do you do the second night? Do you do it on Saturday and then Sunday? And how does that affect? There's a lot of questions.
Well, I mean, UFC does pay-per-views on Saturday. Why couldn't you do a pay-per-view on Saturday? Boxing does pay-per-views on Saturday.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why wrestling does it on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though, it's a special event, though. I didn't say it was going to happen. I'm just saying I was throwing it out there.
Hey, my job is to throw out the counterpoint.
Right.
I can't just agree all the time.
Well, now you decide to do your job?
I always do my job.
Mm-hmm. Well,
anyway. And you're going to say, you never did the job. I always did.
No, it's too easy. Low-hanging fruit. Can't take it.
Yeah, true.
So that was that. We got the draft lottery this week.
The big shake-up.
The big shake-up, brother. I don't know. I like the lotteries. I think they're good. I think they're good to freshen things up. You can have some new feuds. You know, a lot of times with so much programming, you end up seeing the same guys wrestle each other week in and week out, and even in different. You know, we'll throw them in a 6-man, we'll throw them in a tag, we'll throw them in this match and that match. You know, it ends up being a lot of the same guys. So and girls, for that matter. I just think that it's good to shake things up, good to change it around, make things fresh, and also, you know, maybe some people that are stagnant on one side get a fresh start somewhere else. So
yeah. And even for the and I think of the Revival, who we've talked about endlessly on this pod about how talented they are and everything. And even though they didn't get moved, maybe with the shuffling, they get a shot to show what they can really do coming off of, a couple of, unlucky injuries. Cause I feel like they just scratched the surface on those guys and they haven't got that chance to really, really show on that stage what they can do. There's been hints of it. They can do it. Obviously it's just, it's a different beast, but I'd like to see that kind of stuff happen too. And sometimes you don't think about that. You only think about the teams that moved or the wrestlers that moved that are going to get a shot in the arm. Yeah. But I think it can be a shot in the arm for everybody, which is cool. You have to do something like that with no competition.
Yep.
That's it. That's all.
Create your own competition, brother. Paul Smackers was upset he didn't get drafted, brother. Oh, he's working all the brands. Oh, they can't afford to have him split up, brother. He's working all the shows. He's never home. Oh, brother, I'm making towns.
Does he have a trampoline?
No.
Does Paul Smackage have a trampoline, and does he use dumbbells on said trampoline?
No, because he doesn't have to worry about getting the next booking. He's always booked. He doesn't have to stay ready. He's always ready. He's game ready.
Oh yeah, just from he's got like that anaconda vice from holding those small packages so long, right? He's just got that forearms,
got
just
that
like
grip.
that tendon strength.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Okay, all right, I get it now. I'm starting to get it. I bet she's got some good trapezius strength too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe those deltoids have been working overtime too. I don't know. You know who has been using small packages? We talked about is old Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He used one at Mania that I thought maybe was going to be the finish there for a second.
Yeah, well,
he's been taking notes from Smackage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, maybe he's hinting at the fact that he understands what we can do for him. You know how we've rocket strapped so many others here. I mean, look at the card was stacked with people that have been rocket strapped, he's looking to get back in that Universal title picture mix, brother. And understands that getting rocket strapped by the strappers can get him there. Get him back there.
Huh. No? There you
just
go.
Saying.
There you go.
He's trying to butter us up using small packages. It's working. It's working.
Also been busy writing some more stuff for the E&C show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got, and we actually have a couple of writers this year, which is nice. On top of our brain pans working on this thing, it's coming together, Birdman.
It's coming together. I think the people are going to like it. I think it's going to be fun.
I think we're also starting to stumble into what it is.
Yeah, I think we started to get the feel for that, and then the first season, like around, as we went on, definitely after the 4th or 5th episode, it started to become more what it was, and people really started saying, "Oh, okay, this is what it is," and we figured out, it was all a process, right? So we, feel like we got it down pretty good, and looking forward to getting this one out there because I think it's going to be better in the first season. I
think so too. I think so. I'm going to say it. It's strong, but I'm going to say it too. But it's also different too. Yeah. There's some different concepts in this one. So
you got to keep it fresh.
Got to, man. You got to. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of references that you're going to have to probably watch back and go, did they say that?
Yeah.
Did they? Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. Hey, and how about our guests this week? They got traded. They got traded to Raw. And plenty have said over the years the closest thing to E&C is Breezango.
Yep.
And
they're like E&C minus the titles. But we're going to get them there.
Oh, you think this is going to strap them right to it?
No, I'm just kidding. Those guys are obviously, I like both guys a lot. Both super talented, good dudes. So looking forward to talking to them. Yeah, and speaking of tweets, I did happen to see the tweet the other day when they got moved that these guys could be the next Edge and Christian. And, we don't like putting labels on the next. We've said that before in the past, but they're a good mixture of guys that can do it all. They can be serious when it's time to be serious. They can in the ring, they can put the comedy aside and they can go in the ring to make you forget the funny stuff they did, and they can dig in and really go. So.
That's the key. That's the key to be able to have all those different layers of character. But they're in ring. I mean, everybody knows the comedic stuff and with the fashion files and everything like that. Yep. And even some of the stuff that we've had them on for the E&C show this year that you folks will see.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. But they're funny, but super talented in the ring. So it'll be good to chat with them. And see how excited they are going forward. And, so that's our guest this week. And my guts. You got Aleister Black last week.
I did.
You did. You said I bigwigged him. So.
Yeah, I did. I got Aleister Black. It was good talk. People like that. Also, hey, I'm going to be in Wales this weekend.
Are you?
Yeah, leaving tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we're doing this today, then.
Yeah, I don't think I could. Well, I wonder if I could do it on the plane. I don't think I could hook up over Wi-Fi. Matt, could I hook up over Wi-Fi on the plane? Maybe I could do a pod live, the first Mile High podcast.
I mean, in theory, I'd love it, but in reality, it'd probably be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah?
Be a shipwreck.
Just you on the plane and, people screaming for you to do Paul Smackage voice. And
rolling up the... Yeah.
Rolling up the flight attendant and smelling the aisle.
Yeah.
Not letting him or her go.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, a lot of Mega Matt fans this week wanted to see the visage of one said Mega Matt.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, if you want to see what it's like to be Mega Matt and how interesting I am on Twitter, you can just find me at Matt Havia. That's HEVIA.
Look at him.
Yeah, shameless plug.
Look at him.
And
business for himself.
A lot of tweets about the Mets and a ton of stuff that you probably won't care about.
I know.
They're intrigued though.
No.
They're intrigued though, Mega Matt. They hear the velvety tones.
Well, I'm like Oz. You don't really, there's no face.
Yeah. And not Kevin Nash Oz in WCW.
That'd be better if he were.
I think it would. I'd prefer that one. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Speaking of which, let's just lousy gimmicks. While we're chucking out the name Oz there, what other ones can you think of over the years that were just?
Didn't we do an episode on bad gimmicks?
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, long time ago.
We did an entire episode on it, so I guess we don't need to talk about that. Hey,
go back and listen to it. It's there.
Oh man, I've lost track.
Well, also because you put me on the spot, and my brain isn't functioning that fast. I didn't get any goo in me, so I'm just.
I can get you some goo. I can hook you up with some goo. Yeah, they're everywhere now. I'm seeing it everywhere.
If I had the fucking goo, I'd probably fucking rake your face over these fucking hot coals.
Well, okay, why do you have hot coals in your house?
Because I like to walk over them daily.
Yeah, just to test yourself?
It's refreshing, yeah. I'd fucking rake your face on there. And then I'd make sure, and I'd put my hand on it till my hand was super red hot, and I'd fucking slap your ass, and I'd brand you. Like a...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, you know what I would probably do is I also would jam my fist really deep down into the charcoal, so right up to my wrist basically, and I'd let it heat up, and then I would heart punch you.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, right through your chest. Grab your heart, show it to you while it's still beating, shove it down your throat, sew your lips shut, and then.
Would it not go back if you shoved it back down my throat? Would it not go back to where it was?
No, I would make sure that it did not, or if it did, it would turn upside down. I have talents like that.
Well, there you have it.
Yep. Well. Yeah, so what else, Bird? What else do we know?
I don't know if I could top that.
So you got Wales this weekend. You're going to be at Wales Comic-Con. You're going to see a bunch of people. You're going to, say, hey, I'm Christian, and sign babies and kiss grandmas and do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around.
The normal routine, I guess we covered pretty much a lot of topics. Huh? Anything else specific you want to talk about there, Drew? Or
I am going on vacation next week, but unlike last year when I forgot to bring my kit and I called in by phone and you called me on my unprofessionalism, this year I will bring the kit. And I will still be somewhere away from the 12 kids that will be in the house. But it might be ruckus.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to get that word in. Ruckus.
You might have to go sit back out in the car and do it again on your phone. Might be easier.
You're right. There's that possibility. So that may happen next week. There are Hosiers. I think I'm going to go down and make a little stop to NXT this week, too, which should be fun. Yeah. Oh, I just dropped my coaster. I'm going to pop down there and see some students and check out some stuff. Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Yep. Busy week.
Well,
on vacation somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm pulling that one off. It's happening.
I'm going to go in before you get in there and tell them that you're the shits.
Okay.
And then they shouldn't listen to you.
Okay. All right. Well, you can do that. Whatever blows your hair back there, Birdman. Also, I am going to be at Carolina's Con in Charlotte, June 3rd. How about that? Yeah.
That's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah. You want to talk about Wales Comic Con, so I can talk about, Carolina's Con. Yeah. And that I can drive to. I don't got to hop on a plane, which is nice.
No, that's good.
Yep. Oh, and also, Birdman, I can't believe I forgot about this last week because I did, I got inundated with questions about what happened with Mock Mock Mania.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right? I can't believe I forgot. It was such a crazy week. I was sleep deprived, all of those things. So
it was a bit of a landslide victory. So...
a bit of a landslide. And here is going to be Shane's rebuttal to this because he hates to lose at anything. Tiddlywinks, whatever it is. He hates to lose.
He was really pissed the first time. I saw the first time. I didn't see it happen, but I saw the aftermath. And I could see on his face, he was super pissed off.
So mad.
He was
which
so
made
mad.
it so much better because that's the whole goal is anger.
Yeah.
And he was so mad.
Even to the point where he came and found you like 5 minutes later. He was still so mad. He's like, yeah, you got me. That was a good one. That was good.
Yeah. Still
couldn't like. So mad. He still couldn't even laugh.
Still so mad.
Yeah. It was the best.
It was the best. And so the next day, again, I got him. Now I'm up 2-0. And so now we're heading into Mania, right? So his argument will be that the Mania mock is the mock to end all mocks, right? Now, my first 2 mocks, there was no dispute. You could not dispute them. He even tried initially. That was a mock. I was like, I just felt the underside of your chin. That was a mock. So we get to WrestleMania. I'm sitting in a golf cart with Beth, FaceTiming our girls. He always takes those opportunities to try and pounce. Now I feel this large, like, like land on the cart, and I'm like, well, there's Shane, and I put up the mock block. He like hits me with like Killer Khan throat thrust, like in my Adam's apple. And goes, mock, mock, mock. I was like, that's not you're jabbing me in the throat.
He was frustrated. It was a frustrated mock.
It was a frustrated mock. And then he like runs off. I got it. I'm like, I had a mark on my throat from where he hit me. So, but you know what? Being the bigger man, I said, fine, whatever. I will concede that you think that was a mock. Fine. Yeah. However, so he got the Mania mock. I'm up 2-1. However, SmackDown, I see him. And I see him talking to a writer. And he's got both. He's just coming in the building. And he's got both hands with bags. And I walked up to him, slow, stealthy. I was like a shark, and he was my chum. And I dug under his chin so deep. And it was in New Orleans, and he'd just come from outside, so he was a little oily. And I just, ooh. And he actually froze. He could not move. Everyone saw it. And he was frozen there, and I kept it up, and I kept going. It must have felt like an eternity for him until he finally just went, and kind of like shook his head away. And he goes, okay, enough. He actually said enough, because he couldn't free his hands to stop it. So
that's not
3-1, and he even voice messaged me while I was on the plane and said, okay, yeah, that was like pretty much the best mock ever. So,
oh man,
there's your Mock Mock Mania results, everyone.
Yeah. Another year in the books.
Yeah, another one down. So one more thing, I'm noticing that Zachary Ryder seems to be getting annoyed at all of folks asking him when he's going to be on the show.
So you're saying they should ask him more.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning on this. You know, you can tell the tone with his weird tweets sometimes. You know, it's either happiness
kid.
with toys, or he gets really mad when I say that he's punching up a weight class with Chelsea. Gets really mad when I say that.
Or hey, look at me, I'm at Disney for the 68th time this week.
Yeah,
it's still cool.
Or jumping in my pool. Yeah, we get it. But it seems to me that he's getting very annoyed at these queries as to when he's going to be on the show. So I say we amplify it. And really,
up, fuckers. Let's go.
Yeah.
If these marks will fucking text them or tweet them, whatever. They probably text them too if we gave them the number.
Oh man, we can't do that. But
we could, but
we could actually.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, so that's your homework assignment for this week. There, hosers.
Don't fail. Don't let us down. All right.
We'll be watching.
Yeah. I guess we should probably get to Breezango now. Huh?
Yeah. It's time. Birdman, there's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and you know what he deals in?
What?
Bacon. It's the Bacon Boss Burger, featuring bacon 3 different ways and a blanket of white cheese sauce.
Ooh, and he's joined by other new favorites like the smothered cheese steak quesadilla, sweet chili shrimp, and Alaska cod classic, all pair perfectly with a Sam 76, a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager. That sounds quenching.
Hurry in today and try them all before they're gone at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Available for a limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
What's up, bro?
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
You know, I'm good, and I can tell by the huskiness who we got here. You got that deep timbre to your voice. Yeah.
I'm working on an old house up here in Maine, so I'm looking like a lumberjack today.
So you're looking like a lumberjack. You're up in Maine. So now, are you flipping a house in Maine, or are you buying in Maine, and that's where you're going to reside?
I bought a 2-unit house that was probably built in, I think, 1880, and I will live in one of the units and rent the other unit out.
Nice. So you could do the Ted DiBiase and say you make your winter. Don't say you make your winter residence in Maine. Say you make your summer residence in Maine and make your winter residence in Tampa.
Exactly. Snowbird.
There you go. Snowbird. Or you could just do the opposite, man, because that's the kind of guy you are.
You know, honestly, I moved to Maine in October and spent the winter up here. I did it reverse this year, so I don't really mind the cold that much.
Yeah. Where are you originally from?
I'm from a little town called Standish, Maine.
So yeah, it's bred in you. You got no problem with winter. It's same with us. Like
yeah.
Well, once you go through those winters up there, it's in your blood for the rest of your life. Like you can go back to it and it doesn't affect you. It seems.
No, they love me in
Canada. Yeah, and you know, and we're only here like 2 or 3 days a week, so I get to fly out every week and get out of here. So it's not like it's too bad, you know.
Hey, and speaking of which, how about your big-headed partner hasn't called in yet? How about that, huh?
He's like, I'm right here. I'm right here, guys.
Oh, fuck.
I thought you guys were freezing me out.
Breeze.
Oh,
there he is.
We're sick about you, man.
I didn't want to step on your spotlight there, Dango.
What are you doing?
You know, Breeze.
Where are you?
Breeze is fiery. He can be a fiery little guy. I don't want to say little.
Well, he's not little. He's like 6'1".
I know. I'm not saying little, but I mean, I'm saying maybe because he's younger than me. I'm saying that, but
I get testy here and there, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when I think my friends are keeping me out of the conversation here.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Way to bring me into it. By the way, that was great.
I was standing up for you the whole time, Breeze.
I was listening.
Were you listening the whole time? Breeze? How long were you on the phone for?
At least 5 minutes.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, okay.
So you just sat there not saying anything? Why did you hop in, man?
I don't know. I didn't know how this works. I figured you guys go, oh, hey, Tyler Breeze just joined us. But no, you guys just
there's no
plan.
There's no plan. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. We just fly by the ass of our pants. That's what we do here.
Well, now I know. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here, guys. Thanks for including me.
You're welcome, man.
On a side note, I still haven't found my dress shoes that I lost while filming the Edge and Christian show. So if anybody sees a pair of dress shoes hanging around, they're mine. Size 12.
How do you lose everything, man? How do you do it?
Well,
you know what it was? I was in such a hurry because we had the day off and we're at TV, and my internal clock in my head is like, I got to get out of here. You know, we're at TV. We're at TV and we're not supposed to be here today. It's our day off, so I kind of just rushed out of there. And just left.
There was one time I showed up with brand new gear for me and Dango. He goes, "Oh, awesome, cool." We didn't wear it that night. He just left the building and left it at the building.
Never got it back.
No, hey, that was a test, and you passed it, Breeze. I was testing you.
What? Because I went and found it in the corner that you were hiding in.
Yeah, exactly. You passed the test. Good job.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So you guys truly are a team, because this is how Jay and I function too. Yeah. This is how throughout the years. You guys really have stumbled onto the formula for a successful tag team. You know, you just bitch and moan.
With you, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I could do without Breeze, man. I don't know what I could function without him.
He's a real side.
I really need him.
Operate.
Yeah. So you guys just got moved. You just got transferred. You got kicked to. You got drafted to Raw.
You got kicked to Raw.
Yeah, kicked. What do you mean kicked?
Well, I mean, in a good way.
It's always good to get kicked. Yeah.
I guess.
That's another way of saying
wants
drafted.
To get kicked.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a
weird way about you, man.
Yeah.
He does. Thanks for calling it out there.
We still have fantasy hocky, Breeze. I'm not letting it go.
Yeah, well, that was your fault. You and Harper, man.
All right, let's not get into
You brought it up. Don't bring it up.
That's what I mean. You can be fiery. You're very I'm just going to put it like this, okay? And no more fantasy hockey talk. But Breeze was the commissioner of the league, which means he had the controls over everything. And he just got into a big argument, and he said, I quit, and he shut down the league, and nobody could do anything because he just locked out everybody from all the controls. So.
If you want to get into it, we'll tell the real story here.
Oh, here we go.
The real story is that we had fantasy hockey going. The commissioner of the previous year refused to be in charge because of two people. One being Jay,
I know.
The other being Harper. So if I didn't take the reins on this thing, it wasn't going to exist. So I go, hey, I'll be in charge. Hounded every single day by these two. And finally, I go, you know what? This is not worth it. They just caught me on the right day, and I decided I'm going to sink the ship and take everybody down with me. So I traded off all my people, and then I just basically tried to screw the league over and left.
Yeah.
So Jay didn't take it well. We didn't speak for like a year.
Yeah, we didn't. And then even with
classic Breeze. Classic Breeze right there.
And classic Birdman.
Well, even to the point where he called me for a certain favor. I don't want to get too into it unless you want to say what it was, but he called me for a certain phone number and help with something, and I was like, "Whoa, remember the fantasy hockey thing? I'm not giving you the number." So
it's taxes, man. It's taxes.
It's like, good luck. I hope you get audited, you prick.
You are such a vindictive prick.
Yeah.
Like you will actually, somebody's calling without for taxes, and man, do you see what I've had to put up with for 34 years, guys?
Looking to appear for help, and he holds fantasy hockey against me.
See, that's when you just scroll down a little bit more to my number, and you guys just worry about getting a hold of me. Don't worry about this asshat.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Now we know.
Yeah. Hashtag real world problems. Yeah.
Okay, so in Jay's vernacular, you got kicked to Raw.
Kicked.
Listen, let's clear things up now. We're fine now. Breeze and I are fine now.
Everything's good?
Yeah, we're homies again.
For now.
Oh, okay, because I got to tell you that
this podcast is starting off real rough, guys.
No, man, this is the gold that spews forth every time we get on.
The tension's killing me.
Yeah,
I will say, me and Dango over here on the sidelines are just innocent bystanders trying to conduct a nice interview, as cool friends do.
Yeah,
Jay was trying to freeze me out of the whole interview, and then I caught you bad mouthing me, so then I burst my way in.
Yeah.
I don't know how innocent you are there, man.
Oh, come on, man. But so you guys are on Raw now, so that's got to be cool to have a. We were talking about earlier before you guys came on about how sometimes the draft, the shakeup can be a good thing, and getting a fresh start and new people to work with and to wrestle against and things like that. How it can freshen things up. So, are you guys excited about that?
Yeah,
I think so.
You go, Breezy. Go. No, we were. I normally cut Breeze off all the time when we're sitting next to each other. So it's a little bit more difficult. It's even more difficult when I can't see him. So we're actually standing in Breeze. We were standing in Gorilla Monday, and I think I asked you. We've never really worked a Raw match together, have we? I don't think we have.
No, I think
that was our first time, right?
We might have got paired together, when we were doing all the stuff with Goldie and Truth, but never as once we found our groove as a team. No, this is brand new, man.
It's all new.
So be exciting.
So it's really cool, because we, Breeze and I were talking at TV. The SmackDown tag team division is just so stacked. It's got the Usos, New Day, Sheldon, and Gable. So it's a 2-hour show. So if you're not really plugged into that tag team title picture, it's really difficult for a tag team to get on the show. So the Fashion Files was kind of something that kept us afloat for, about a year, just getting TV time. So getting switched over to Raw hopefully gets us a little bit more TV time.
Well, dude, it's even crazier now because, with all the drafts and everything, SmackDown's only 2 hours, and they normally only have time for, one tag program. And right now they got, New Day, Usos, Bludgeon Brothers. They just, they're having Sanity debut, The Bar, The Club. I don't know, man. We wouldn't see the light of day over there with how stuff was going and with how much tag stuff is going on. So I don't know how they plan on doing it, but I'm kind of glad that, we're on the other side where hopefully, we kind of got off to a good start there on Monday and just kind of keep it rolling.
Yeah. And, you mentioned the Fashion Files, and obviously Jay and I were are big fans of it because, I mean, it's right up our alley in terms of comedic value and our comedy lane. So how does that all come about?
You want to take it, Breezy?
Yeah, I'll start us off. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, basically, this is it. So basically, what happened was, we were put together as like the other. What?
I'm just kidding. Keep going.
We were kind of put together as the other guys on the other side of like Truth and Goldie. Like they were the funny ones, and we were just kind of like the comic foils. But it kind of just ended up naturally clicking, and it kind of took on a life of its own. So we were still kind of struggling to find out what exactly it was. You got a model and a dancer together, just trying to kind of find our way in the world. And unfortunately, fortunately and kind of unfortunately, Dango kind of hurt his knee, and he was out for a couple weeks. And I just instead of sitting there doing nothing at TVs, I just kind of talked to one of our writers, and we started kind of brainstorming some stuff. And he said something about fashion police, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like I don't even know how you start this or like what we do. And then Dango just didn't happen to be at TV, so I had nothing but time. And I just grabbed the .com crew, and I just kind of started doing these like a little videos where I was looking for Dango because he wasn't there. So then, of course, since I'm looking for him, you have to, investigate. So you can't investigate without a cop outfit. Now all of a sudden I'm a cop, and then, he comes back and he's a cop, and then all of a sudden we're just cops. And then it just kind of took on a life of its own, man. We were just having a blast, like kind of just seeing what would happen. Like there was no real plan. It was just kind of us having fun. And it was finally one little video of us interrogating Billy Kidman. And we were playing like bad cop, good cop, but Dango didn't understand which one was the bad cop. So he just kept yelling, and then, he's trying to play good cop. And then it was just kind of one of those funny things that they ended up seeing, and they said, why aren't we putting this on TV? And then we kind of just went from there.
Well, you guys have, obvious chemistry together, and it seems like you play off each other really well, but it does, it feels that way. Like you guys are just two goofy, and I mean this in a good way, two goofy idiots that are just having fun together. And just even in terms like the subtle references, like I love the Chimmel stuff that's always in the background, or just like if you look up on your board, that I'm always like looking on the board and pausing and going, okay, who's up there this week? What did they, and I enjoy stuff like that. Yeah.
It was just a great example of like previously before tagging with Breeze, you're not really booked on TV, and it's easy just to kind of sit around those, every week at TV and being frustrated. But I think we utilized the .com guys really well, just kind of, being proactive and just trying to almost like, just pitch our own little gimmick there. And it's just a good example of being proactive and just trying to make something happen. And, I talk to Breeze all the time, and it's just, we're really proud of what we did because, no one really gave that to us. We kind of put in the work for that. So it's a really good lesson for me not to just, it's frustrating, when you're sitting at TV and not booked, and just kind of, it's easy to just sit around and point fingers and being cynical, so.
Well, I think that's a good way to look at it, especially in your case. You're a guy that's had a singles match and a win against a big name in Jericho, like on WrestleMania. You've been in some big angles. You had a big entrance and all those sorts of things, and a character that was built as a single star. So it could be very easily to sit around and be like, and like you said, get frustrated and get upset and kind of, just like, oh, well, I'm not doing anything this week. Fine, just sit there and be angry about it, but. To have that attitude to keep going after it, I think that's a smart way to go about it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I did have a bad attitude. I did approach things because when you're given such a big push out the gate, sometimes you can get a little big headed. And I'll be the first one to admit that I didn't necessarily handle the not being on TV that well. And then I took that being kind of bitter, and being with Breeze was almost like a second life for me. And it's a good lesson learned that handle your business a different way, you know, and be more proactive and not be negative about things and just try to make something happen and not just go to TV every week and just sit there and be frustrated and just, you know, instead of just sitting around and, you know, being that guy, you know, let's make something happen, Breeze. Let's shoot some promos and at least we know that we put in the work. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Well, yeah, I do. And because the easy stuff is when you're getting used and there's great storylines and all of that stuff. All you have to do is concentrate on your work in the ring. The hard part is the downtime in between when you feel like you're spinning your wheels and it's easy to become jaded. And there's probably a lot of the locker room listening to this that are in that situation. That's the most difficult part. And it's the mentality you need to take, which you guys did by getting this going yourself, is just try and create something. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'd rather try than sit there and become jaded and complain about everything. I'd rather try and, you know, okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. Let's try this. And then, you know, suddenly you're doing fashion files every week. And, you know, when the time comes and you are able to get in the ring, show what you guys can do in the ring too. Because sometimes with you know, acts like yours, sometimes that can be forgotten. But you guys can get in there and go. And it's always nice to see you guys get that opportunity.
It's kind of... I mean, with all this stuff that we're talking about, it's kind of weird because it's like, it's almost been, and I mean, Dango's been a little bit different, but it's kind of been the theme of like my entire career. Is like, you know, you guys kind of know, you know, the chosen ones and, you know, the ones who are kind of almost handed the world. And it's kind of crazy to watch, like, especially if you're in the locker room for a while. Mm-hmm. You see those guys who have had nothing but success, like nothing but, you know, kind of opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And the second that it like dips even a little bit, like not even to the point where they're just, you know, not being used, but just not being super pushed, they can't handle it. They start going crazy. Yeah. And, you know, luckily, you know, and, you know, Dango's had some stuff here and there, but we've both kind of been on the bottom end to where, you know, almost any little scrap that got thrown our way, we're like, all right, man, this is cool, you know, and like you kind of get to the point where you can't let it decide if you're happy or not. Like, you know, like if they're going to use us, awesome. If they're not going to use us, awesome. But either way, we're going to take our own opportunity and kind of, you know, show them why we're a commodity that they need to have on the show. And, you know, we kind of proved that, I guess, you know, by making our own little niche that people kind of liked. And, you know, a lot of the whole reason kind of why it was a success and became a thing was because of social media. I guess, you know, like we did one episode and it was kind of supposed to end after that, but it was, I guess, the number one trending thing on SmackDown or something like that. And even Vince, you know, he was like, I don't get it, but you know, the people like it, so keep doing it. And all of a sudden it was like 8 months later because of social media. So, you know, it's one of those things that you can't sit there and be entitled. You just have to kind of make your own luck.
Well, you know, a guy who's a great example of that is a guy like The Miz, who throughout his entire career has just kept plugging away, even when he wasn't featured. Yeah. And yeah, he got to the main event of WrestleMania and all of those things, but there was a lot of lean years before that happened, and then a lot of lean years after that. But that guy shows up and he works hard and he does all the press and everything that they want him to do, and guarantee you he keeps throwing ideas out and keeps trying to recreate and reinvent. And man, it's just so key, especially like you said, if you're not factored in from day one as one of the, you know, the quote unquote chosen ones, you know.
And that's it, man. Miz, by far, one of the most unselfish guys, you know, when it comes to anything. I mean, even just kind of the one key moment that he kind of proved that, which, you know, or, you know, that I kind of started to really think it was at WrestleMania when he was standing up on a ladder and he let Zack Ryder, you know, climb up behind him and shove him off the ladder to win the IC title. There's a lot of guys that, you know, that would either make them look stupid or, you know, their character wouldn't do that. There's a lot of guys who would have a problem with that, and Miz did it with a smile on his face and he loved it. So, you know, that's kind of cool and not really, you know, it's kind of rare in our business.
Yeah, and it's also having, you know, confidence in yourself and your ability to do the right thing, and to that no matter what, you have enough equity in what you've built that you'll be fine no matter what. And it's just also just being a damn good professional. you know?
Yep.
And that's, and,
Yep.
you know, it's funny too, when you were talking before about taking, like you said, just taking, especially now with social media, having different platforms to kind of do, you know, put things out. Like back when we were in there, the social media stuff really wasn't there. It was kind of more in the forefront as, you know, we were kind of getting towards the end of our careers. But like, it's about maximizing any kind of screen time you can get, no matter whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter or actually on the shows or a network program or whatever it is. Whatever, like, I like the mindset you had there, whatever little nugget they were going to give you were going to take it and polish it and make it into something good. It reminded me of something years ago where, you know, I was kind of floundering a little bit and wasn't really involved in much that was going on. I was doing a lot of the backstage bits where like Mark Henry was doing his strongman stuff, like bending frying pans and lifting up cars and doing all these things. And they had a bunch of guys standing around taking bets. And I would just do like random things just like to stand out. And then, you know, one time and I can't remember who it said, but somebody said to me, "Oh, you know, Kristen's going to do something here to stand out." And I said, "Yeah, you're damn right." I said, "Because guess what? If I don't, I'm going to be just one of you guys standing here watching him bend the frying pan." You know, yep. I wanted to be like, well, why is he so into this? You know, I wanted to be the guy that stood out. That was, you know, take whatever little bit you can and make something out of it, because you never know what can come out of it.
Totally.
Yeah, and you sometimes don't value that TV time until you're not on TV for a full year, you know, and I've been through that. And you kind of look back and you kind of like realize it's like, wow, you know, you can go from being on TV, for, you know, consistently weekly to not doing anything for a full year. And then you almost like, when you start to get TV time again, it's like you really value it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you're a guy, both of you, but you know, Dango, you've been in the system for a while, and to, you know, see all of that through there. I mean, like you said, there was some frustrating times in there, but I mean, you're an example of, you know, stick-to-itiveness. I just wanted to get that in there too. And, you know, really just seeing it through. And, you know, I always appreciate when I see guys who could very easily, you know, take a completely different mindset. And like you said, you have, and that's to be expected, to be honest. But the fact that you know, kind of sat back and went, okay, how can I look at this differently? What's a healthier way to look at it? Not only for yourself personally, because you don't want to pull that into your personal life and that kind of all of that anger, but from a professional standpoint, it's going to filter into that too. So I'm glad to hear that you know, even with having been with the company for as long as you have, that you still have that mentality. It's good on you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, man, when, you know, you start, I've got all my eggs in one basket in terms of being a professional wrestler. It's all I've done pretty much my whole life, and I've been wrestling since I was 16. So when you're extremely passionate about something, it's almost like if I was a coach and I had some kids on my team that weren't winning and they were really upset, I would almost be kind of happy that they cared that much. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was extremely passionate and frustrated because I wasn't doing everything that I thought I could do on TV, but I didn't go about it the healthy way, like you just said. And sometimes that, you know, being negative and kind of, complaining and, having a bad attitude will do more harm than good. So as I've grown up over the years, you know, I got signed when I was 22, 23, and I'm going to be 35 this year. So I spent the majority of my youth kind of growing up in the WWE. And as I'm getting older, I'm learning how to be more mature and handle my business a little bit better. So, you know, over the last couple of years being with Breeze, it's really been the funnest period of my wrestling career. And, you know, I prepared myself mentally for the next low. So like if Breeze and I were not on Raw for, 3 or 4 months, I'm prepared. I've been through it, so we can prepare ourselves to, come up with a new game plan to get back on TV. You know, it's growing as a person, as a professional, and figuring out how to better myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so key. Like you said, when you're basically, I mean, you're growing up doing this, and there's going to be some pitfalls, and there's going to be some, I hate even to use the word mistakes, but there's going to be setbacks. And you can go one of two paths. And you can go down a very jaded, kind of miserable path, or you can, take the path that it seems both of you are taking, which is a good thing. And trust me, by the end of your career, you're going to be glad you took that one, because you won't look back and go, "Oh man, I should have done that differently." And you can go back and if you look back at the end of the day, put your feet up and go, "Okay, I feel pretty good. I might have wandered off the path for a little bit, but." At some point, everybody probably has, and it's how you end the race, to be honest. But anyway, I'm glad to hear that you both, are kind of where you're at, and also in terms of if there is another lull, then you just go back to the drawing board. What can we do now? And that's recreation in this industry, and how you stay relevant.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, just evolving. I mean, starting off as vampires and evolving into the guys that you guys became it's a perfect example of sticking around long enough to figure out yourselves and then just keep evolving and keep changing with the times, and you two are great examples of that.
I definitely see an E&C cameo on a fashion file somewhere down the road.
Yeah,
I don't see how that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm surprised our picture hasn't popped up there in the office at some point. But it's funny, too, because I always know when, like, if I happen to not be watching the show or something, I always know that you guys have done something, like, entertaining or good or had a good match or something. Because if I go on my Twitter, I see all the time, like, Breezango is the next Edge and Christian, or they're so much like Edge and Christian, or like E&C and blah, blah, blah. Like, we've talked about, we hate always saying somebody is like this or somebody's the next, but there's definitely similarities. And the things that I like about you guys is, when it's time to be funny, you can be funny, and but also when you get in the ring, the comedy kind of goes to the side, and you have to make people forget about the funny part, and you have to dig in and make them care about what you're doing in the ring. The ha-ha doesn't continue in the ring, like with ha-ha spots and things like that, where you're just considered that single act. You know what I mean? You can make people believe what you're doing in the ring is competitive.
Well, I think too, we had like the perfect example of that with that match with the Usos, where like we came out and, I was dressed like a janitor and then an old lady and all this other stuff. So, and people are into it, but like you've never seen anything like that before, which it's cool. But then by the end of it, like, Dango's doing flips over the rope and landing on his feet. And, it's going to the crowd shots, and people are literally thinking we're about to win the tag titles, to start out dressed as a janitor and go to an old lady and then end up with people on their feet thinking you're about to win. Yeah. It's kind of a hard thing to do. So it's kind of cool, that we can even do that.
Yeah, and it just goes to show if you get put in that position, you can do it, and it's always nice to be able to do that. And it's so key to a successful, and I hate the word act, but a successful act. Like, you can be entertaining, but when it comes to nut cutting time, you guys can dig in, you can get heat on you, and still pull off stuff like you said in one match. From being dressed like an old lady to having people believe you're going to win the tag team titles. And I remember thinking at that night too, I was like, damn, they might win the titles here. This is a damn good match. Who on Raw do you see? Because you had the Usos on SmackDown, and like you said, it's a very stacked roster, but who do you see on Raw that you're like, okay, I want to get in there with them?
Man, I think it's kind of cool because it is like a clean landscape. Like, we really haven't, worked with any of these guys. And I think the key to us, the key to kind of not getting stale and kind of going to that next step is now, almost doing like what New Day did, where, you build your fan base by, kind of being the likable, funny guys, whatever, that brings them in. Yep. And now it's time to kind of show what we can do on the other end of it. Even more. And I think, if you put us in there with somebody like the Revival, I think those matches are going to be really, really kind of unique. What they bring and what we bring, I think that could be, kind of a good platform to really kind of take us to that next level.
Yeah, the contrast in the characters too would work really well.
Yeah, because they're very wrestling heavy, yeah. And we're kind of, I guess you'd say, personality heavy or comedy heavy or whatever. But I think, once you're kind of 10 minutes into a match, you're going to be, kind of on the edge of your seat waiting to see what will happen. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most with them.
Well, and perfect teams for each other because of the opposites, you know. So
Totally.
in turn, they can show that they have character because they do, and then you guys get another chance to show how much, you know, wrestling ability you guys have, which you do. So that'd be a fun one. I would enjoy that. Just even the matches to the promos to the matches would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what's kind of cool too. Is, you know, they're kind of in the same category as, you know, when like Gable and Jordan were together, or Gable and Shelton were together, where they're so wrestling heavy that they almost come across as, you know, like people find them boring or no personality because the wrestling eats up their personality. But really, in reality, they have a ton of personality.
Yeah.
You just need the right people on the other side of it to bring it out. And I think that we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. Don't you think there, Birdman?
Caca. That's me saying I agree.
That's his affirmation.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, what happened there is he was hoping to catch me sleeping, and I wasn't. I was so ingrained in the conversation. Yeah. I'm meditating right now. I'm levitating.
You're levitating while you meditate. That's impressive. Yeah. So, Dango, you started in 99, correct?
I did, yes. Yeah, 99.
And Breezy, when did you start? You were trained by Lance, right?
Oh, God.
I was, yeah. That was 07.
In when? 07?
2007, yeah.
So when did you have to be retrained then?
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Is Lance listening to this or what?
He's not denying it.
For whatever reason, Jay, who is very good friends with Lance, it takes every opportunity to bust on Lance, and I've never fully understood it. But I sit on the sidelines and go, okay.
No, he's my lackey.
I think it's just because Jay's a dick, man. I think it's just 'cause
it really is. There it is.
Oh, man,
see,
come on, guys.
We're all in agreement here, right?
what do you think?
I might not talk to you for another year.
Well, we'll see.
No.
I don't know how much of a loss that is.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good year for me.
No, it's funny. So Dago, like, thinking about too, like when you were talking about how long you've been with the company and that sort of thing too. You were at one point too. Like I remember come back from some injuries and stuff, and when before the Performance Center, when it was FCW here in Tampa, I would go down there and you were kind of like, you know, at some point like a mainstay there. It's almost like you were there so long, and it was like you kept you'd see other people go up before you and that sort of thing. It's like, man, at some point here, is he going to be like a lifer that's kind of in the developmental, or, you know, is he going to, you know, figure it out and get through? What was it that finally, you know, kind of helped catapult you through? Is one of those ones where he's just been down here so long, let's just bring him up and do something, and it's either kind of sink or swim. Was that kind of what it finally came to, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because they you know, they did NXT season 1 where, you know, guys like Slater and all my buddies like Wade Barrett and everyone's getting called up. So, and then they do a second season where another crop of guys go up, and then a third season where all the girls went up. So it's like, I didn't know if I had heat or, you know, you're seeing all your buddies that, you know, I'm living with these guys, you know, we're going to these towns to do spot shows together, and you kind of grew up in the system together, that are all getting called up to the main roster, and I'm kind of just left behind almost. But, yeah, I kind of spoke to the office, and they said they had something for me down the road. So I, you know, eventually got called up and did the Fandango character. I don't know if they thought about that previously before, but it was tough. You know, it's frustrating seeing all your friends get called up, and, you know, you kind of feel like you got left behind, and trying not to be frustrated about everything. But I mean, it was a long time. I you know, started in FCW in 07 and finally debuted in 2012 or 13. So it was a long run down there.
Well, and you were also in Deep South too, even before that, right?
Yeah, in 06, and then I was on the Indies from 99 to 06. So it was a long, hard road, man. And it would have been easy for me to kind of walk away, but I had so much time invested, and I just wanted to pay this off, you know, and I wanted to stick with it, and eventually it all paid off. So, you know, there was random guys getting called up throughout 2008 and 9 to ECW, guys like Sean Spears, who is now Dillinger, and a few other guys that just got called up for, a month or two, then got released. So looking back now, I could have been just one of those guys that got called up and released. So ultimately, like, staying down there for that long and then getting called up into a really good spot was probably worth the wait,
And then Breezy, on your end, you're down in NXT and, come up with this character, with the selfie stick and all of these things, and really up on the Titantron and some interesting different stuff that I'd never seen before. How much of that is you? How much of that is a process to put all that together? And at what point do you feel while you're down there like, okay, I'm cooking on all cylinders here. When am I going to get called up?
Well, and that's so, I mean, kind of like I said before, I've never really been, the chosen one, or however we want to say it. So when I got hired, I'd been wrestling for like 4 years, and I was kind of like, all right, I was big fans of like the wrestlers. Like, I really liked all the athletic moves and all that other stuff, but do not put a mic in front of me because I cannot talk to save my life. So I just, I'd go out there and I'd wrestle, and I was the perfect white meat baby face, I guess you'd want to call it. But I quickly found out that nobody cares about that at all. So I was down there in FCW at the time, and like a year in, and it was literally like, okay, like we're gonna, I hear, cause you make friends and all that other stuff, but I hear, okay, yep, you're on the next list to get cut. And so the first kind of obstacle on that one, I was like, oh my God, like, okay, this is all I've ever wanted to do. Like, I'm about to lose my job. And you slowly learn like the weirdest stuff is what matters. And, Cesaro, it was his, debut in FCW. He had just got signed, and I had his first match like on FCW TV at the time, which got viewed by like 50 people in Florida. And he threw me up, like they put all this emphasis on like, okay, this guy's special. We got to make it, a big thing, whatever. So, he did a thing where he threw me up in the air and uppercutted me out of the air. And, I guess it looked really cool, but I guess the people literally went, okay, hold on, like, don't fire him yet. Like, there might be something here. So one little thing like that saved me for another year. And so then all of a sudden, like,
the kid takes a good uppercut. Let's keep him.
so insane. Like, I got told that, and I said, what? Like, how does that? Okay, all right, cool. But so, another year rolls around, and I'm still the same guy. At the time, I think I was Mike Dalton, and nobody cared about me whatsoever. And another year rolls around, and like, hey, you're going to get fired again. And I'm going, no, like, what do I do here? I'm trying, I'm doing like, I can wrestle, I can do all this stuff, whatever. And, we end up having the first NXT, pilot episode at Full Sail to test out and see if Full Sail would work for like the venue for NXT. And I ended up having a match there with one of the guys in the Ascension. He was just basically supposed to kill me. But he was my friend. So he goes, no, let's have like a match. And we had this match, and Triple H happened to be sitting there, and he just kind of looked over at Dusty, and he goes, who's this guy? Like, why have I never seen anything of his? And all of a sudden I got saved again. Like, I just keep getting saved kind of along the way. But then all of a sudden, Dusty tells me, he goes, oh, Hunter liked what he saw. And, all of a sudden I'm off the list again. And, so it slowly turned into NXT. And as it did, I don't know if you guys remember, they did that Breaking Ground show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of like the reality show for, the Performance Center or whatever. And I got picked on it. Oh no, this was before Breaking Ground. Sorry. This was, the E60. They did an E60 with like 4 or 5 guys. And I was picked on it. And, it was revealed to me after from Triple H that I was supposed to be the guy who doesn't make it. I was supposed to be like, hey, let's follow you around for ESPN. And at the end, you're getting fired. And of course I had no clue. So I'm just thinking, oh, this ESPN thing is going to be really cool. And then I find out after, like, no, you were supposed to be like the failure story. But fortunately, right around that time, I already knew like things were kind of going south, and I had this really bad evaluation where, it turned into a big argument. It was crazy. And I kind of told Woods, I just said, hey man, I'm getting fired, man. Like, there's no way I'm sticking around. And he goes, dude, this is kind of always happening. If you're going down, and let's at least try, like, leave no stone unturned kind of thing. And we made, like 3-4 characters, like videos and stuff like that, and sent them all in. And one of them happened to be Tyler Breeze. And I was like, you know what? I've tried, it's been 3-4 years. I've tried the whole wrestling thing. I've tried to be this wrestler. Let's go the complete opposite. Let's be this guy that I literally see come in for WWE tryouts, and they go, wrestling looks easy. I can do it. And they come in and like they get hired and they actually do well and they do better than me. And so I go, you know what? Let's be this know-nothing guy who just doesn't know how to wrestle, and he just comes in thinking that wrestling's cool. And that was essentially what Tyler Breeze was. He was like this Zoolander model idiot. And I sent them all in, and as we were filming them, me and Woods were even laughing our heads off. We go, this one's so funny that like there's no way they like this one. And of course, that was the only one they ended up liking. And from there, it just kind of started rolling. Like Dusty says, hey, there might be something to this character. And I started kind of, messing around with it. And all of a sudden, it just got really comfortable. And I actually, was like, hey, let's put this on NXT and let's, kind of see what happens. And it slowly started rolling with that NXT crowd. And it kind of, saved me and made me actually get it of like, oh, okay, like this is what a personality is and this is what a character is and this is how you make the wrestling matter. Like as long as you build something right, you can do one thing and they're going to love it or hate it or whatever you want them to do. And that was really like, kind of like I said, the theme of my career is it saved me for the third or fourth time, but it also really made it click in my head of like what needs to happen for you to be a commodity in this business.
Well, and if you look back to that documentary, if I'm not mistaken, there's also in one of their meetings where they say the same thing about Woods, right? Where it's basically, do we cut the fat here kind of thing, for lack of a better term. And now look, so it just goes to show that spitballing, continuing to try and throw ideas out is the way to go. And just to keep, if you want to do this, like Dango said, and if this is what you've committed your adult life to, then why half-ass and not just keep throwing ideas at the wall and see what sticks?
Me and Woods laugh like daily at the cause we've been friends since I came in, and we lived together, and we, kind of built like these careers and stuff together. And I used to laugh because he came in when he debuted. I think it was, as Truth's friend. So he basically had like R-Truth's music, and then he went to Brodus and he had Brodus's music. And his biggest thing was that he didn't have his own theme music. And I used to make fun of him all the time with it. And he used to pick. Yeah,
I wrestled him every week on Superstars for like a year.
Yep. He hated it. I used to wake him up in the mornings with either R-Truth or Brodus's music playing, and he would come out just seething because it killed him. But it made him, he never stopped pitching things, and he pitched things that were so ridiculous. Like he wanted monster trucks and, pyro and all this other stuff. And I said, there's no way, like they're not using you for this stuff, man. And then like all of a sudden New Day is a gigantic thing. He's got up, down, YouTube channel, which is insanely successful. And now he literally can do all these crazy things that he wants. He's got, an inflatable cereal box that, they hosted Mania. It's crazy to see that it all worked out, but it's because he's a genius and he just is so persistent with stuff. And, if he didn't help me, I don't think I'd be here, man.
Well, but the recurring theme that I'm hearing from both of you is that it seems kind of destined that you two are going to team, because it sounds like, Dango, you were just kind of going through the same things and doing the same things, just maybe, 5 years, 6 years earlier that Breeze, went through. So how does that, when do you guys realize that there's a connection and there's chemistry between you two where it's like, okay, we got something here. We should really, try and, blow this up?
For Breeze and I started tagging, I think April or May of 16, and we weren't doing the fashion files. We were just a model and a dancer wearing, sparkly outfits and, just kind of wrestling. And then in I think October of 16 is when I got my meniscus scoped, and then I was on the shelf for about a month. And then that's when we came up with the fashion police gimmick. And, I think when we started doing promos, the .com promos and working together and kind of coming up with those skits is when I think it's when we really started gelling really well at the character stuff, and that's what really got us our push. I think was more the character stuff. I'd say right, Breeze.
As soon as I started buying our gear from Amazon by typing in stripper cop outfit, then it really clicked.
That's when we started cashing checks, man.
Yeah. So weird. Hey, they just made an action figure of us in stripper cop outfits.
So proud of that. So proud of that.
Now you can afford Amazon Prime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas every day.
Dangerous.
Like Christmas.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah. But I think there's some too, like, it's one thing to just be kind of thrown together, but I think you generally, to really make what you guys are doing work, you have to like each other, and you have to almost be able to do things. Like with Adam and I, we were able to do things, or even finish each other's sentences, or figure out what one guy was doing without even, like, in the ring, without even having to say it. Right? It seems like you guys very much have got that same type of chemistry, even whether it's backstage or in the ring. But you have to, like, completely trust the person and be like, hey, we're all in on this thing together if this is going to work. Because if one's like, well, I'll just do this until something else better comes along, it's not the case. So it's cool to see, like, how much you guys have embraced it and realize, hey, we can make our own opportunity here.
Yeah, we started to really, really click, man. I think like in like funny little situations where, obviously, like I said, we're dressed as like these stripper cops, and we're trying to explain this like ridiculous dancing spot to, Kane or something. And then somebody says, well, is that, does that make us look too stupid? And we all just look at each other, and, Kane's dressed like Kane and we're dressed like these cops. And we all just look and we just start laughing. And then we go, man, we're kind of untouchable. We can literally do anything and it does not hurt us at all. And it just became so fun that he'd come up with stupid stuff and I'd come up with stupid stuff. And all of a sudden the people are all laughing at it. And it's ridiculous that we get paid to do it.
It's such a good feeling, though. It really is to get to the point where you go, okay, we can get away with this. Like, we can get away from a character perspective with this because, when the time comes in the ring, we will be able to back it up. It's a freeing feeling, for lack of a better term.
Oh, it takes all the stress all the stress away.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to go out there and make an ass of yourself, and you do, and Breeze is dressing up as a chick and a janitor, and, we're dressing up as ridiculous characters every week. Pretty much once you've broken that wall down, anything after that is it's pretty easy, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we've already shown so much ass that we can't really do anything wrong now.
We did the one pre-tape where we both got locked in one tanning bed together. I think there's no turning back after that,
man. Yeah. What else you got to lose after that,
Oh, man.
Well, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what other stuff you guys are going to spitball out there and somehow get on the air. And that's not even counting what we've already filmed for our show. That will somehow make it onto the network, but we won't spill any beans. All I'm going to say is I think we found the perfect cast for a new reality show. I'm just I'm just tossing that out there. There was a good dynamic that day, man. I felt the magic. It was a good group of guys just hanging out.
I think there's more to it. Man. That was just a little taste.
That was just
Where's my shoes? Where's my shoes?
Hot dog.
We'll just bill us your shoes, and we'll make sure that we take care of it for you.
Yeah, they're like $8,000 shoes. They're really expensive.
Man, you didn't get those on Amazon Prime.
Real carny. I'm a real carny, guys. I've been in business too long.
Man, thanks for coming on. This was fun. It was a lot of fun. We won't keep you because I know it's the middle of the day on a day off. So, but appreciate you doing it. And I have a feeling we'll probably have you on both shows again. So, just pick up the phone if we call, and it won't be Jay, it'll be me.
Hey, just don't freeze me out of the conversation next time.
Also, you know what I love?
You were creeping. You were creeping in the background, Breeze. Just
He
waiting
was.
for us to say
Dude,
something about you.
I called. You said it 2. I called at 1:55. No answer. I call it 2. All of a sudden, you guys are mid-interview. Everything's going crazy. I get it.
We were already 40 minutes in at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big joke. I'll listen to this back and hear you guys had this whole other interview.
Yeah.
You know what else I love about this? The fact that the entire time we've called you Dango and Breezy.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite part.
I think it's more weird that we're used to it and we didn't try to correct you at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
That's my stripper name. Dango's my stripper name.
Yeah. It was funny because I read this one loop. Like, I was at baggage claim and somebody asked me, like, what are you headed to the gym? Oh yeah. I just gotta wait because I gotta pick up the kid and the pirate. And we just started laughing. We're like, how ridiculous does that sound? That's just what we call them. And I was picking up Zach Ryder and Paul Burchell, the kid and the pirate. Yep. So it was like, and we're going to the gym. It was like, it was pretty ridiculous. Yeah, you just get used to calling each other those days. But like Adam said, appreciate you guys joining us on a day off, and I appreciate the hustle you guys put in and the dedication that you have to making whenever you're given work, and having the guts to kind of go forward with, like, hey, we're going to make it to the point where we need to be on the show because we're so entertaining, and just throwing it all out there and with no fear. So I appreciate that you guys have done that as well, and wish you guys all the best.
And think about this too, Jay.
Thank you.
If our luck turns around on Raw, you might be seeing your finisher a lot more too.
Oh my God, yeah. And that's another thing too. It's funny because when you use that. People are like, oh my God, Tyler Breeze.
The one time or whatever?
Tyler Breeze stole your finish. Tyler Breeze stole your finish. Oh my God. But here's the thing is that you text me and asked me if you could use it, and you didn't have to do that. I appreciated the fact that you did that because obviously, you didn't have to, but that's a very cool thing that you did. And of course I said, well, you won't get it over like I did, but yeah, go ahead.
Of course.
Well, luckily,
he has to be a dick
also,
first.
Luckily, that was also a free fantasy hockey ordeal, so you actually gave it to me.
Yeah.
No, you're trying to butter him up. I gotcha.
Yeah.
He was trying to butter up the commissioner. I see.
Yeah. Didn't work. Shut it down. But anyways,
all right.
good.
Well, E&C and B and Z. I'm grasping at straws, but it felt like magic.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Adam, let's leave the comedy to them.
Okay, all right. Yeah, our days are done.
Wow.
Well, hey, we're middle-aged dads now, so our funny days are over.
Yeah.
We're just trying to cling on to the young funny guys now. So that's why we had you on the show too.
That makes more sense. That makes more
see?
sense now.
Yeah. Hashtag bad dad jokes, but
Yeah.
all right, guys.
What a stupid laugh. That chuckle was awesome. Yeah, there we go. All right.
We should just do an entire podcast of us laughing at each other back and forth. Just laughs. Gonna be good.
Yeah.
You guys, man. You guys.
Yeah. You silly guys, you. Well,
you guys really know how to cap off an episode here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. We always.
Yeah. It's like a 10-minute process.
Yeah.
We just awkwardly roll through and now we're just all laughing at each other. It's
because no one wants to hang up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like when I say bye to my dad on the phone. When I say bye to my dad on the phone, it's just like, all right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so
okay.
We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Have a good week. Yeah. So how's the weather? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly like that right now. So we'll cut it off. But anyways, good luck, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so those guys are right up our alley.
Yeah, they're cool.
Same,
funny.
Same sense of humor.
Cut out again.
What?
Oh, I thought you cut out.
No, I didn't cut out.
Oh, then I take it back.
Yeah, But guess what?
shit.
I heard what you said.
What
so
I
now
did?
I know what to do every time I cut out because I'm in the mountains.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
up in.
I was just testing to see if you were still here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what a dick!
No.
And people wonder why I call you a dick. So I sit there, I cut out, I can't help it. It's one of those things, and that's what you sit there and say, and that's what you say to the guests whenever I cut out randomly. Okay, I get it, Birdman.
Listen.
When all these years when I've called you a dick and everybody's like, oh, really? And then they get to know you and they realize you are. But that right there proves it.
First of all, I'm chewing gum again. Let's just say that right now.
Of course. Why not?
Second of all, that's the first time I've ever done that.
Dude, that really sounds disgusting. Can you please stop doing
That's the first time I've ever done that. Said something like that of that nature. And I'm not going to apologize.
You're full of shit.
Apologize. But
no, that pregnant pause there was you trying to scramble for something in your little brain to come up with to say to backtrack and cover your stupid little tracks.
Anyways, I just had a drink of water.
Did you just swallow your gum?
No, I
You
didn't.
have a stomach ache. Okay.
I did not. But
All right. Well, hey, listen, there was a great talk with those guys.
Yeah.
You are an asshole behind my back. And we haven't talked about hockey and it's playoff season and it's begun. Oh, it's begun. And I'm going to say at least the Devils are starting to punch their way back into this thing a little bit, but it's not looking good, man. Tampa. Wow.
yeah, I mean,
They're just not there yet. It's so like the Leafs, they're just not there yet. But I said 2 to 3 years. I'm still going to pick both of those teams every year, and that way, hopefully, one of my teams makes it. But they're on their way. At least it's D, and Devils, it's just time.
No, well, and the Devils' defense also. They have a young defense, and the same thing. The thing is with the Devils, it never used to be the defense.
It was the flip of
that was their strong suit, but now. And they always used to play that defensive trap style game, which was super boring. But now they're an exciting, young, fast team. And yeah, in the next couple of years, they're going to be really good. And you can tell, the crowd was insane. It'd be great to see that building full every night. Toronto, same thing. They're not ready yet, but they may squeak back into this series. I don't know if they'll get past Boston, but I still believe that Tampa's the team to beat in the East. But we'll see what happens. But what about those Golden Knights, the expansion team, sweeping the Kings?
It's crazy this season.
Sanity.
I'm also going to say, though, if you look at the East and you look at those series, any one of those series, you could say any of those teams, basically.
Yeah.
Philly and Pittsburgh, Washington, Columbus. I've never just seen the Washington thing just because I don't buy Ovechkin as the guy. But all of those other series, Boston and Toronto, Devils and Lightning. They're just really strong teams meeting in the first round. Las Vegas. What the hell? I don't know. But if the Leafs and Devils get put out, I'm pinning my hopes on the Jets, man. I'm going to hop on the Jets bandwagon out west.
Yeah, they're strong, man. They just announced the finalists for the Vezina, which is the best goalie in the league, and Connor Hellebuyck, who's the Jets goalie, Pekka Rinne, and Andrei Vasilevsky, who's with the Lightning. Those were your 3 finalists. So, obviously shows you what their biggest weakness in years past had always been their goaltending. So now they got that figured out, and Hellebuyck has stepped up this year. So it's pretty great.
Well, and being Canadian, I want to pin my hopes on the Canadian team that's left if the Leafs were to get put out. So I'd like to see the Jets. I'm going to hop on that bandwagon. I'm going to hop on Jericho's bandwagon there and hope that the Jets make it through in the West.
I'm going to say this.
I think it's going to be them or the Preds.
Yeah, the Predators look strong too. Go Bolts.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
Really? Above Leafs, huh?
No, I just don't think
it's
the Leafs
come
are
to
ready
that.
yet.
It's come to that.
No. I think I've said it before. I think the Leafs are still a couple of years away. I don't think their defense is strong enough to go all the way, and it's not deep enough. I think Tampa's window closes in a couple of years. I think they're built to do it now. So
and plus you're the British Knights ambassador for them, right? Or what is it that you do?
I have been the social media ambassador on a couple of occasions. I'm not.
Okay.
There's many ambassadors. I'm one of many. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and no one will understand that reference. But Jay used to wear British Knight shoes. Go back and look them up.
Yep.
And part of their commercial was your British Knights ambassador.
Yeah. If you have to explain it, it's not funny.
Yeah, true. But it is to me in my little brain. It was funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should let these marks go down with their day. So, all right.
You're still chewing gum, man. What is?
Well,
Who does that?
I'm trying to wrap this up.
Seriously. Well, that doesn't mean you got to chew gum.
Why not?
It just sounds gross. You sound like a.
I feel
like a
cool when I chew
sloth.
gum, though.
You sound like a horse chewing hay on the. Like nobody wants to hear that.
All right,
It's disgusting. Your mouth sounds fucking vile.
Fuck you. All right. All right. Thanks to Breezango and and all that other shit. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. E&C Pod shirts are there. You should check them out. Paul Smackage wants you to buy a shirt.
And rest in peace, Bruno.
Yep.